Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Jenna. I film a lot of productivity, lifestyle, bullet journal videos and vlogs, so if you want to hit subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. For today's video, we're gonna do a work, career, YouTube, drink Starbucks in my car and answer your questions. I saw Tess do a video like this on her channel recently and I really loved watching it, so I thought that it'd be fun to do one with you guys now. And if you guys are curious, this is like my healthy version of the pink drink at Starbucks. It's a grande unsweetened passion tango tea with coconut milk and dried strawberries, and it's like less than 50 calories, so this is my healthy pink drink if you guys were curious. I also mainly wanted to do this because I didn't get to answer all of your questions when I did the Busy Blooming takeover. So I wanted to start off by answering the leftover questions from that, and then I asked you guys on Instagram too to ask me any more questions if you were curious. If you guys are new to my videos, I am a government contracts consultant working full-time, fully from home, and yeah, I'm 24, I work in consulting, I work in finance and accounting. I live in Arlington, Virginia, and I think that's everything. So if you guys just want to hang out with me in my car and answer questions and talk to you guys, then let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, how do you stay consistent with your YouTube frequency? I know I touched on this a couple of times, but honestly, I feel like I work best when I'm maximizing myself, and when one thing doesn't go well, everything else doesn't go well. So I've just kind of told myself that I'm gonna post 3 videos a week and I'm gonna work my schedule around that, because making YouTube videos just makes me happy, and it can only help my channel if I stay consistent and kind of just like write out however long I can do 3 videos a week. It's definitely a lot of work, and you definitely have to make sacrifices in terms of your free time and your sleep, but I think it's so worth it. And I've never really had a problem with the frequency of how often I make my YouTube videos, because basically I just devote all of my time before and after work, besides eating and working out and bullet journaling, to making YouTube videos. And I feel like it's a form of productivity that also makes me really happy, and I don't know, I've never really had an issue with it, so that's how I stay frequent. If I don't do it, then I'm just so mad at myself, and I try to do things where I try to just do my best to not be mad at myself and make myself proud, I guess. That's just what I've told myself. I feel like that's not a concrete answer, but that's just how I stay frequent. It's just being extremely disciplined. Weekly/daily tasks. I'm not sure if this relates to work or like my home, but daily, I'll make my to-do list, I'll look at my meetings and kind of work around my daily tasks based on my meetings that day. And usually also, if it's the beginning of the week, I'll look more into my meetings for the rest of the week too and see if I have any free time, how I can prepare for that. I find that making to-do tasks for the week, kind of looking at your week as a whole, is really helpful, but when it comes down to like the nitty-gritty day-to-day, then I need like just daily to-do lists and checklists so that I can make sure that I'm doing everything. Daily and weekly tasks really just change by the week. It just depends on what projects are picked up that week, what I'm working on, how my internal initiatives are going. I feel like every week is different just because consulting is very like go, go, go. Do you find yourself working more than 40 hours? Yes, that's a really good question, and I feel like that's something that I kind of didn't really know when I started my job. We all know that 9 to 5 is the term, right? But in a lot of jobs, not even just consulting, but a lot of jobs, 9 to 5 just isn't really real. It's kind of just like the absolute minimum. I find myself, I would say on average, working around 45 to 47 hours a week, realistically, and that's including my breaks too. You know, I'm including my lunch breaks and any like 5 or 10 minute breaks. That all goes into my work day. As long as I'm hitting my minimum hours in terms of my client work, then everything else is just kind of my internals, other things that I'm involved in at work, and my breaks, and more or less all of that will probably equate to around 45 to 47 on average hours a week. Do you plan to do PMI certification? To be honest, I'm not sure what that is. So at this point, no, but I know that there are a lot of certifications involved, especially with government contracts, because it's such a niche part of work. So definitely have certifications in mind. I don't think I'm going to start them anytime soon, maybe in the next couple of years, but not anytime soon. So nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Katie. What made you major in finance and not accounting? I'm an accounting major and I love your channel. Thank you so much. I love when you guys say that you love my videos or your channel. It just makes me so happy, but thank you. That's actually a good question too, because if you guys don't know, I actually entered college as a government major. So I came into college when I was 18 thinking that I might want to do law or law school, and that didn't end up happening. And I still don't see that happening. I just like to argue a lot, so everyone always told me that I'd be a really good debater and lawyer. So that was that. But when I moved to business, I was between finance and accounting, and I went back and forth a lot. And if I'm being really honest, I think I should have gone with accounting over finance just because I didn't really have my jobs in mind when I chose my major. And I know that when you choose your major, what you want in your job will probably change like month to month, or what you end up majoring in might not really relate so much with what your job is, but try really hard to get an idea of what type of job at least you would want in the next 2 to 3 years out of college. As you're approaching your junior year of college, try to think about what jobs you could actually see yourself doing. Just gain those experiences where you can get an idea of what type of job you want to have, and maybe you can choose your major more or less based off of the internships that you do. And yeah, don't be afraid to ask people about their jobs and how they chose their job, how they chose their major, because honestly, my job as a consultant in the government contracts world probably has more to do with accounting. I work with a lot of accounting cost systems and indirect costs and stuff like that, but not so much finance. I feel like when you think of finance, you probably think of like investment banking or financial analyst or stuff. So I'm not really sure how much I use my finance major. I kind of regret it and wish I went into accounting because of the job that I have now. So if there's anything, just try to get an idea of what type of job you want. And if you don't know, try to get internships so that you do have a slightly better idea, and then go from there. I went with finance because I thought that it was more universal, but being 2 years out of college now, I kind of regret it, and I kind of wish I did accounting. Tips on how to break into consulting as a finance and accounting major. So I feel like that kind of relates. Definitely just look into whatever university you're in. If you're in a university and they have a career portal where different companies will go to that business school and straight up put all of their internship and externship listings, that's a really great resource. And that's how I found my job. There was an externship the summer after my sophomore year. It was like a 2 to 3 day program, got an idea of what the company was like, and then I was lucky enough to get an internship offer, did the internship that next summer after my junior year, and then I loved it so much. And I feel like I was lucky that I loved the internship so much, because when I was fortunate to get a job offer from them, then I took that right away. So definitely, if you know you want to be a consultant, or if you're interested in consulting, look for internships and externships. Externships just come before, like usually the summer after your sophomore year, and then internships are after your junior year. But more or less, just look into externships and internships in the summer if you're interested. Okay, those were all of the busy blooming questions. So now I will get to how do you stay motivated to create content? I think, if I think about it, I feel like what motivates me is you guys. Every time I get a comment or a DM on my videos or in my Instagram DMs, it just makes me so happy to see the value that you guys get from my videos. That's really what motivates me in the end. It's you guys. It's feeling like I'm helping somebody with my videos, not just making videos for no reason, but making videos to help inspire others and help other people be productive and try to see their work from home lives a little bit differently to make them better. So I feel like what motivates me is knowing that there's somebody on the other side that really benefits from my videos, and that's what makes it all worth it to me. I think I work really hard, and just knowing that it's going to something bigger than me that's really what motivates me the most. It's you guys. Have you always been work from home? No. So my jobs, so I graduated from college in May of 2019, and then I started working my full-time job in August of 2019. So when I started in August of 2019, that was before the pandemic, and I was totally in the office 5 days a week, all that stuff, as you kind of knew the world before the pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit in March, we started working from home in the middle of March of 2020, and we've just been work from home ever since fully. So I was able to get an office experience for around 6 months or so until I had to work from home full time because of the pandemic. Ultimate career goal. I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea what my ultimate career goals are, and you know what? I think that's okay. I'm 24. I'm still figuring it out. As much as I love my job, like, there are still days where I'm like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And I think it's totally okay to feel that way. It's not weird, and I think everybody has those feelings. So at this point in my career, at this age, my ultimate career goal is to just, I guess, like, learn as much as I can and talk to the client more, and ultimately really feel like I'm starting to know what I'm talking about. So I guess at this point, ultimately my career goals are to just learn as much as I can and feel knowledgeable. But in the grand scheme of things, I have absolutely no idea. Dream job. What's my dream job? I feel like my dream job is whatever it is to be my own boss, because I feel like I have a really good head on my shoulders. I know it needs to be done if something needs to be done, and I see everything through. I think that's a big strength of mine. I always see something through if I choose to do something, and I don't know. I've always seen myself as a leader. Yeah, I don't know what exactly that is, so it's kind of vague, but I feel like my dream job is to just somehow be my own boss. Whatever that means. Okay. How to stop bored eating when working from home and your kitchen is 2 steps away. Oh my God. I so relate to this, but luckily I work in my bedroom, not in my living room. So I feel like I love snacking, okay? And I'm the type of snacker that just will continue to eat and then not realize that the whole bag is gone. So knowing that about myself, I have to hide my snacks so that I forget about them, and I think that helps a lot. I really just have to ask myself a lot of times, especially during work, if I'm snacking, it's because I'm stressed or I need a break, and I need something eating a snack to kind of cool me off and just take a break. So when I do that, I tend to eat emotionally because I'm stressed and everything. So I try to give myself healthy snacks. I've been loving apples and peanut butter lately. I've been making protein snack smoothies and stuff. I love that. And seltzers I really love too. Just kind of giving yourself mindful snacks. It's totally okay to snack, but I totally get if you feel you're constantly snacking. I have to hide my snacks. So the snacks that are my indulge snacks, my candy and stuff, I have to put them in a basket and then hide it under my bed so that I don't think about it. And when I really need it, then I'll pull it out, but usually I forget about it. So hide your snacks. And eat mindfully. That's the best advice I think I can give for that. Okay, how do you find energy to do anything after work? I've been feeling so unmotivated. Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing. If you guys have noticed, I know I filmed a night in my life for you guys last week, but to be honest, I rarely ever film night in my life because I also often feel very unmotivated after work. A lot of times I'm so exhausted to do anything after work. I'm just happy that the day's over. It's been nearly 8, 9, maybe sometimes 10 hours of working, and I'm just so tired. So yeah, I also feel really unmotivated, and a lot of times I just need to exist and watch YouTube videos or Netflix for you, whatever it is, and just exist. I don't know, I guess just take a second to reflect and ask yourself, what do you need right when the workday ends? Do you need time alone to just decompress, or do you need to be around people and be social because you are working from home? For me, I like to be around people, and the moment that my workday is over, I'll go over to my roommates or I'll go over to Jerry and Jay's, my neighbors, and talk to them. So I know for me, that's what helps me, I guess, stay motivated and energized and happy after work. But there are definitely days where I feel unmotivated and the only thing I have time to do is eat and edit videos, and sometimes that can get really hard. Don't worry if you feel unmotivated after work. I definitely do too. If anything, just get a good night's rest. Try to sleep early, maybe be in your bed at 8 p.m. and naturally you'll fall asleep within the hour because you're just in bed for an hour. That's the best advice I can give for that. But don't worry, I feel really unmotivated too a lot after work. How are you able to manage some days? I really feel so lazy. That's really hard. I definitely feel you too. I have those lazy days where I don't want to do anything, but I think what kind of keeps me through it is, I've mentioned this before in a work from home vlog, but on the days where I feel lazy or I feel like I'm not getting anything done, I will schedule a regroup meeting and force myself to get something done before that meeting, because otherwise if I have nothing to report, then that's embarrassing on my end. So even if it's just telling your friend, if it's not the person that you report to, but you can even just schedule a 15-minute meeting with your friend at the end of the day at work, and that will kind of help you be productive and be okay, I just need to be able to tell someone I did something. Because I think when you're working from home and you don't necessarily have anybody you have to report to sometimes, it makes you not want to do anything. So schedule meetings with your friends or your direct reports to push you to do something and to get something done. How to make friends. I just moved to Arlington and started my job during the pandemic. Well, congrats on starting your job and moving to Arlington. I hope you love it as much as I do. But making friends is actually really hard. I was really lucky that my job, I interned there, I knew almost everybody there, and I was in the office, so I was able to make those relationships really easily. But if you feel comfortable getting coffee with somebody outside before work or on the weekend, or getting like a small group together outside socially distanced, don't be afraid to ask for that too, because those are things that would naturally happen anyways in the office. You'd be making those friendships and seeing people. So I think when you're working from home, it's kind of more on your end to make friends and get uncomfortable for a split second and ask somebody to get coffee. But so long as you're comfortable, of course, it doesn't have to be in person. It can even just be like a 15-minute FaceTime and you're getting to know the person and everything. So yeah, just reach out to people. It's hard, but if you are struggling making friends and that's something that you want to do, I feel like that just means you want to make friends, so you have to push yourself and kind of reach out to, and whether it's virtually or in person, just reach out to them. How does the career path of a consultant look like? Okay, I can't speak for all of consulting, but usually you'll be a consultant for around 1 to 2 years, and then you're promoted to a senior consultant where you have more experience, you have more responsibilities. And I would say you're a senior consultant for like 3 years. This is really just on average. I don't think I can speak for all of consulting, but from what I know in the industry of consulting, this is kind of what I've picked up. After you're a senior consultant, if all goes well and you deserve a promotion, then you'll be a manager. And then once you're a manager, you're kind of like the direct report to the client. And so you're representing your company with the client, but you're also being the direct person to delegate all those tasks to the now consultants and senior consultants. So I think you're a manager for probably like at least 5 years or something. And then you're a senior manager, director, partner, and yeah. I think that's kind of what the direct path looks like. The more experienced you become in your job title, the longer you stay in that job title because you're gaining all of that expertise and experience. So I'd say in general, that's kind of what the average career path looks like for a consultant. How long does editing your vlogs take? From the time that I begin editing to the time that I'm like hitting publish on YouTube, I feel like that probably is a total of like, I don't know, 7 hours. I know that sounds crazy, but I break it up. I mean, I edit after work. I get a good night's rest. I don't get 8 hours, but I probably get like 7, sometimes 6 hours of sleep. And I'll finish editing before work. And then usually during my lunch break, all I have to do is just make the description box. And that's kind of like a good break in between my work day too. So more or less, probably in total 7 hours, but I break that up so that it doesn't feel so long and that like I'm not going crazy. Yeah, that's kind of an idea of how long it takes. How to keep motivated at work when every day feels the same. I totally feel that. Every day seriously does feel the same sometimes, but oh man, I really don't know. I feel like this is gonna be weird advice, but confide in people. If you're feeling pretty unmotivated, it helps to talk to somebody about that feeling because you're kind of like expressing those concerns and letting your feelings out. And hopefully somebody at work is also feeling unmotivated, because I feel like especially when you're working from home, it's so easy to feel like every single day is the same. But finding your friends, they probably feel the same way you do if you're feeling that way. And when you can kind of join together, come together and acknowledge how you're feeling, then I think naturally that kind of helps you think that, okay, I'm not alone and I can get through this because it's not just me that's feeling this way. That actually really helps me a lot, confiding in your friends, in your family at least, and just telling somebody about how every day is starting to feel the same, and like you just need to tell someone about it. I think it's like almost like cathartic to do that. And additionally, that means you're overdue for some PTO. Don't be afraid. If you are lucky to have PTO, definitely take a day off and just don't tell anybody. If you guys saw my last vlog, you know that I took a day of secret PTO and I just didn't tell anybody because I just wanted a me day. If you are starting to feel like every single day is the same and you're not liking your job, then give yourself that paid time off to kind of refresh and recover. Ooh, work from home must-haves. I have a whole work from home setup. If you guys haven't seen that, I kind of go through my current work from home setup, which definitely will change when I move, but I go through all my work from home essentials and I go through like where all of my work from home setup stuff is from. So definitely check out that video, and I have all the links in that too. So definitely check that out. Okay, this is the last question. How to be conform and do as you're told even if you don't agree. That's really hard, and I definitely don't have like, the world's best advice about this, but I think that if you don't agree with something, and you're pretty sure it's not gonna work, it doesn't hurt to spend a little bit of time or a couple of hours trying to make that work if your direct report is telling you to do something a certain way. If you don't think it's gonna work, don't be afraid to express that and just say, hey, what if we see it this way? Or what if I tried it like this? Okay guys, my battery died, so I don't really remember where I was, but I forget what I said. I have to like wait for my camera to cool down. But I think in the end, if your direct report is telling you a task or a certain approach, and in the end, like, they have more experience and you just kind of have to trust their word. And if it doesn't work, then in your head you can say, I told you so, but usually they know what's best. And you can be open-minded and bring new ideas, because that's never a bad thing, but you know, it's a little bit of balance. If you don't agree with it, I feel like I rambled, but like I said, put your approach out there as a new idea, and if that doesn't work, then you just kind of have to go with what they're saying, because they probably know more than we do anyways. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys had fun hanging out with me and drinking my Starbucks. I still have a little bit left and I gotta go home, so I'm gonna drink this on my way home. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a good week, and let me know how you're doing. If there's any other questions that you guys have, don't hesitate to put them in the comment section. You guys know I love talking to you guys in the comments, and thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in my next video, but until then, I miss you already.